This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here, and in this one, we talk about Michigan's big matchup against Texas, the honorary captain for the game against Texas, plus what Sherrone Moore, Will Johnson had to say previewing Texas, as Sherrone Moore is excited for the challenge. He also talked about, the offense and both quarterbacks of Davis Warren, Alex Orji, and why he believes the Michigan offense has much more to give. And also Will Johnson pointing out that Michigan plays its best football in the biggest games. Go over all that, plus some recruiting news and an update on Andrew Babalola. It's all going to be in this video and more, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so Michigan taking on Texas this upcoming weekend, Saturday. Going to be the biggest matchup in college football up to this point. And obviously, big noon kickoff will be there. College game day is going to be there. It is a big game, and not only a big game for both Texas and Michigan, but it's a big game for the SEC versus the Big Ten. And we saw the SEC versus the Big Ten last night in the Sunday night game between LSU and USC. USC won that game, so this is another big time matchup for both those conferences, but also for Michigan. When you look at that schedule, and you got USC week 4 now, it appears that's going to be another big game early on in the season. So this game against Texas is very huge, because if they can win this game, that's gonna be a very, very good win on their resume when we come time to talk about, who's in the college football playoffs. But this win is not gonna come easy. We obviously know that the offense has to pick it up. Some more news around the Michigan-Texas game, though. It's obviously Michigan's Maize-Out game. It's a 12 p.m. kickoff. Atmosphere is gonna be absolutely amazing, I'm sure. But Hall of Fame baseball player Derek Jeter will be Michigan's honorary captain for Saturday's game against Texas. So very, very cool there. And Sherrone Moore, he did talk about, Michigan versus Texas. He talked about the quarterbacks, the offense, what they need to improve on, as he had his weekly press conference this morning. And I said, yeah, we're super excited for the challenge. We know we got a really good football team coming in all three phases. And he just said they have a really good quarterback. The skill players are fast everywhere. The O-line is as good as you'll see in the country. And I know our defense is excited for the challenge to go against them. And he did talk about, the win Saturday night over Fresno State. He said the guys weren't scared of the big stage. Obviously, great atmosphere in the big house, but I think the players played extremely hard offensively. We got in a rhythm at the end of the game and really felt the line gelling. So offensively, they definitely picked it up there. Got things to clean up, as we always will, as far as the run game technique fundamentals. But it's the tale of 10 guys, and you got one guy that doesn't do the job, and then the play fails. So this week, we're going to put our hard hat on and work our tails off this week to have a great week of prep. And he said, I think defensively they flew around, they were violent, they were physical, had a lot of fun. And he just said the things that they got to clean up defensively is just the penalties, and they just got to be stable emotionally. Now, real quick here, do want to give a shout out to today's sponsor and this channel throughout the football season. That's right, BetUS. Guys, they have all the odds you need this football season. When you look at some of these games, Boston College, Florida State tonight, and on Saturday, got some good games. Georgia Tech, Syracuse, Arkansas, Oklahoma State, and obviously Texas, Michigan. Obviously, currently, Michigan is the underdog. The over-under right now is set at 44. And I almost feel like you could take the under in this game. I think it could be a low-scoring game, especially with Michigan's defense. I am that confident in them. Let me know what you guys think about those odds and any other odds this upcoming weekend. And guys, BetUS, they're offering a 125% deposit match on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. How can you pass that up? Make sure to go ahead, check them out. Link down below. I would appreciate it. Please gamble responsibly. But let's go ahead and continue this video now. Now, both Sherrone Moore and Will Johnson did hold press conferences this morning, and they both confirmed that the offense has made a lot of explosive plays in camp against a very good, obviously, Michigan defense. And Sherrone Moore, he said, I think our players played extremely hard offensively. We had drives of like 10 plays, 9 plays, but we just got to get in the end zone. Now, he did say that, Davis Warren starting and Orji playing a little bit more in his role is just going to give them more confidence. Just continue to get it done, to get in practice, because you know what they've done against our defense. And he said if they can do it against our defense, they can do it against anybody. I do think that's the case, for this offense. Obviously, that final drive where they scored that touchdown, that was a beautiful drive, and that's what this offense has to look against Texas and going forward. And I think eventually it'll get there. They just need to continue, to get these in-game reps, continue to gel together, and obviously it's going to be a tough one against Texas. A lot of people already counting Michigan out, saying Michigan's gonna get blown out. I don't see it as a blowout. I think our defense, Michigan's defense, it's gonna keep them in the game. This defense is just too good, I think, for Michigan to get blown out. It's just gonna be whether or not this offense can find a rhythm like they did in the fourth quarter against Fresno State. And it's not only the quarterback play, it's the offensive line. Can they get that push, and can the run game have success? Can they protect the quarterback when he drops back? Can the receivers help him out? Because obviously Colston Loveland had the best game, but Texas, they're obviously going to key in on Colston Loveland. So Michigan, they're going to have guys like Tyler Morris, Samaj Morgan, Kendrick Bell, Peyton O'Leary. They're going to have to step up and make some plays, as well as Donovan Edwards. Hopefully we get big game Don against Texas, because this offense could definitely use that. But Sherrone Moore did talk about senior quarterback Davis Warren. He said he's a fighter, noted that he battled and beat cancer, saw his senior season canceled due to COVID, walked on at Michigan, was a third stringer, but has competed and won the starting job. He said it wasn't, a matter of Alex Orji losing the job, it was Davis Warren winning the job. He also mentioned that graduate quarterback Jack Tuttle will be back to throwing at some point, but didn't give a timetable there. That's a quarterback, Jack Tuttle, that could potentially see himself get a chance to be the starter, especially if it isn't working out with Davis Warren. But I think we just got to see how the offense looks against Texas, and then we can, go from there. Sherrone Moore did talk about Donovan Edwards as well. He said he's not worried about him as far as his confidence after a quiet first game, but he's confident that, all those things will happen for Edwards. Then Will Johnson also talked to the media, and he said it was the first time getting back out there and being with the defense. I'm excited and glad we got the win, but excited to get ready for this week. Johnson did talk about Texas. He said they got a lot of good receivers, played against Bond last year. I was on the same 7-on-7 team with Golden in high school, but they're very explosive, a lot of experience, so we got to be prepared for Quinn Ewers and the receivers, and we're ready to go out there and execute. Talking about Michigan being an underdog, he said, no, we're used to it. At Michigan, you're always an underdog no matter what you do, so we wouldn't like it any other way. And he said that, it's going to be like the Rose Bowl, Ohio State games, those type of games, and I feel like that's where we play our best football, so I'm excited for it. That's what Sherrone Moore and Will Johnson had to say, previewing Texas coming up. And again, I'm not worried about this Michigan defense. This defense is going to carry this team, and obviously the offense this year is only going to get better and better each week, and we started to see them get in a rhythm in the fourth quarter against Fresno State, and hopefully, they continue that success against Texas. But I think it does start up front with the offensive line, the run game. If you are able to run the ball, have success, that's only going to make things easier for the pass game for Davis Warren to settle down, especially going into his first big game as a Michigan quarterback starter. This is also probably a big game for Sherrone Moore. He was a former Oklahoma player, and he said, I'm just ready to win because we're at Michigan. I'm sure there will be calls at some point about his former Oklahoma teammates, but he said, that stuff doesn't matter. It's about us. It's about the Wolverines this weekend. Now, I did want to mention as well, didn't mention it in my post-game video, but Michigan has now won 29 consecutive regular season games. That is the most in Big Ten Conference history. Wolverines just continue to keep winning, and a big one coming up against Texas now this Saturday, which I cannot wait. It's going to be a very, very good first test for this Michigan team, and a chance to really make a statement to the whole college football world. I did want to give a little recruiting update. Michigan did host some recruits this past weekend. But really the big recruiting weekend coming up is this game against Texas. Michigan will be hosting a lot of top targets, so that should be big for the Wolverines, only making the game that much bigger. But an update on the 2025 5-star offensive tackle Andrew Babalola, as he did not make his decision this past weekend. He wanted to shut down his recruitment this week, but we'll see if that ends up happening. And we talked about it before. It is between Stanford, Auburn, and Michigan, with Stanford losing steam right now. Auburn has been picking up a lot of steam on the trail. They have the NIL advantage. Auburn is starting to become a kind of an annoying team that Michigan keeps battling with over players. We'll see if Michigan prevails in Babalola's recruitment. And with that, that's going to wrap up today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. Again, shout out to BetUS. Make sure to go ahead, check them out. Link down below. I would appreciate it. But with that, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you guys go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more. If you are new around here, I greatly appreciate it. Other than that, we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.